Welcome back, everybody. Today we'll be discussing whether you should sell or hold the Union Jordan 1 Chicago. The Union Jordan 1 Chicago releases tomorrow, February 27th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time through Union. They will not be dropping on the normal site. They will be dropping on a secret website. This is called the new domain drop, and it's the best drop method because it leads to manual cookouts. We all love it. The link is supposed to be a secret, but as always, for many years, I've always posted the early link inside of my group Endurance, and we're always on point. So make sure you join the full group before the drop with the link in the description. And be careful what sources you guys trust for these new domains because there's a lot of fake domains out there. Union is trying to bait people. A long time ago on the Union Dunks, a very popular app that I won't name got baited and had every single one of their users waiting on a fake domain and none of them copped. You could trust Endurance though. We've done this for years on every Union collab. This is the place you need to be. Links in the description. The Nike sneakers drop is on the 28th, and that's a different date, and we'll discuss the implications of that shortly. I did make a video on this. Feel free to check it out, and we put more details inside the full guide inside the full Endurance group. So again, consider joining if you haven't already. And remember, we do more than sneaker reselling like stock investing and other ways to profit. Like today, members just paid off their subscription with free Chipotle codes. Anyway, the retail on the Union Jordan 1 is $200. And in order to determine if the Union Jordan 1 Chicago will be a fruitful hold, we will cover an estimated range of what the sneaker will settle at after the drop, and also when shipments come in, basically all the pairs go into circulation, whether they're expected to increase post-drop or even hypothetically continue to decrease, along with how much specifically over specific periods of time, and finally, what type of margin are we looking at for these in terms of holding? Not the retail to resale initial margin, but rather the hold margin over X period of time. Basically, even if they increase, are they going to be worth your time? Kicking it off, let's discuss the estimated range that these should be settling at. Stock on these is actually very, very high, at least for a collaboration. That doesn't mean it'll be an easy cop, but it does mean with the new domain drop, it should be a massive cookout for manual users. Stock is still low relative to a general release, to put it into perspective, but for a collaboration, this is really, really healthy stock. Demand is obviously extremely high, not surprising because the Union Jordan 1 is one of the most hyped collabs we've seen in recent years, and the Chicago colorway was executed to perfection, many people even preferring these over the predecessors. The sneaker is obviously a big deal. Stock isn't low, but demand is insanely high. With that said, I'm expecting all sizes to be extremely profitable with an incredible margin, full throttle release on every single size. If you want to secure at least something and don't care about what size, go conservative and get a smaller size. Resale is going to be lower, but at least you'll get something because those will be much easier to cop than the bigger sizes. Currently, sizes 8 to 12 in men's are at an average of $731, the highest pre-sale we've seen in a very long time. Now, after they drop, we often see a positive impulsivity effect where prices may jump 5 to 10% on many sneakers. I actually do not expect that to be the case after the Union drop, especially for two reasons. For one, contrary to general releases, collaborations like this outside of some backdoor pairs don't have lots of stock proportionally already in circulation compared to general releases, which keeps prices very, very high pre-drop, and sale volume relatively low, which you can see right now. Not only that, but people will also be expecting a second chance on the Nike sneakers drop, which is the following day. So I'd actually expect to see prices drop a bit following the initial Union drop, not increase. And then after the Nike sneakers drop, at most, maybe we'll see the prices recover back to where it was, but I'm not expecting a positive impulsivity effect for the reasons I mentioned. So with a temporary dip and recovery after sneakers, I'd expect these current prices to remain mostly the same or perhaps up to a 5% decrease, maybe slightly more. Let's put an estimate somewhere conservative at 2.5%. This would hypothetically leave the post-drop average on the 28th at $712 on average, but honestly, I could see it dropping a little more than that. And remember, before the sneakers drop, they should be even lower than this. Now, let's discuss what price will look like when shipments go out in the 2 to 3 week range. During this period, the vast majority of pairs usually would all be going into circulation. Normally, we see a 10% decrease in value on general releases. I think with stock this high and it being a collaboration where almost all pairs will be going in circulation post-drop, 10% is going to be the minimum. We might see a drop up to 15 to 20% through the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'll put a conservative estimate of 15% for the calculation, but I really could see it being more than this. Expect a big drop. If this is the case, prices should settle around $605 on average. While yes, it's a big drop, it doesn't matter because they're still extremely profitable with an incredible margin. There's nothing to worry about. Now that the average price range at those points in time are evident, let's discuss whether they're expected to increase from the post-shipment prices or even continue to decrease. I think the perfect comparison for these would obviously have to be the 2018 Union Jordan 1s. In general, Union collabs have not been appreciating lately, but we could all agree the Union 1 is its own beast. Not only that, but the macro conditions in 2018 were eerily reminiscent to current conditions. As I always say, everything is cyclical, guys. This looks to be the beginning of the same uptrend in the sneaker game we saw in 2017 to 18 and 19 onwards. One, economically, and two, Nike knows to slash stock now. Looking at the Union 1s, they actually did initially increase a lot, even though now they've dropped a ton in value, from that high point at least. I would not expect them to increase the same amount they initially did, but despite their high starting value, I would still expect these to appreciate for a few years as well. So finally, regarding the hold margin on these, basically, even if they increase, are they worth your time? If these do increase like the prior Unions did, that would obviously be an insane ROI, but I don't think that's realistic. This is not the first Union. People know that. People also witnessed the fall of the Union prices on the last two. What I can see is them getting to the prices the prior Unions are currently at now, which is around $900 to $1,000. Hypothetically, that would still be a very impressive 50 to 60% ROI, maybe within a year and a half or so. Not only that, I can see all three Unions continuing to increase beyond those prices. These are all three important collectibles in sneaker history and should age very well. Hence, I'd rate these well above average at 8 out of 10. A rating I rarely give, but we recently just did on another shoe too. And remember, the further they drop in price before you get your pair, the more opportunity there is for a good ROI. So if they're lower in price, there's more room for them to run up and leave you with a good ROI. Remember, it's not about how great or hyped the sneaker is, it's about what opportunity there is for an ROI. And based on the past Unions, I think the future is quite bright for these, even with their high starting value. If you're watching before the drop, good luck. And remember, we're going to post a Union early link inside of Endurance, which you could join with the link in the description. Other than that, good luck. Have a great rest of your day.